Okay guys, back with another recording about looting. Now, on the surface of the city, one of the best areas to go loot is in the East Mall. These 4 control points, which I've already captured. I went through and I captured them, and I didn't pick up a single loot box, so I could come back and shoot this video and show you where every single loot box is. I'm going to actually do it. But if I were doing this without shooting a video, I would go over here to crash site, capture the control point, pay the control point officer so I could get detection of loot boxes, and then I would loot to the west until I got to the next control point, and then I would rinse and repeat my way across the map. So capture a control point, loot, capture a control point, loot, capture a control point, loot, and each time stopping to pay the control point officer because it'll give you greater detection. Believe me, that is such a good thing to have. So we're going to pay them, and all you got to do is pay resources up to the point where the control point has 50 of each of the 3 main resources: water, food, and components. And if he's already over 50, you don't have to pay him anything. You just have to act like you're going to pay him. When you go into the interface, you automatically get detection too because he's over 50, and you don't have to give up any resources at all. And by the time that we loot between control point 1 to control point 2, we'll actually get enough resources to pay the next control point officer. So I'm already at 250 of each of those 3 resources: water, food, and components. I made sure that before I shot the video I went and filled up on that, but by the time I'm done I'll probably still be at that. Another thing, it's a little bit off topic, I want to show. See the war dog convoy here, warhound convoy? My city is still in an invaded mode. I haven't done Tidal Basin yet, the last stronghold for this week. You will make more experience and you will get more loot if you leave your city in an invaded state. Do everything up to but not including the last stronghold each week, and every time you see a warhound convoy, go fast travel close to it and take it out. These things pay incredible experience and usually drop pretty good stuff. So I'll farm those like 10 times a day when I'm in a farming cycle. That's a little bit off topic, but because there's one on the map, I wanted to show you that. So I'm going to fast travel over here. We're going to try to knock these out as quickly as possible, but this is going to be somewhat of a long video, or I might have to chunk it up into 2 chunks. I'll probably do the first half and then do the second half. There's my control point officer. By the way, he will be in this exact same location every time I fast travel here.
We could really use your help.
When you come in here, sometimes donate all will be yellow, and that means you haven't donated to that control point in a while and they're forcing you to donate all 3 resources. But in this case it's orange, so I can just come down here and do the components, and then that's it. Just get him to 50, and now I got the detection icon, that orange icon. Now I'm going to head straight west. In fact, let's do this. Even though I know where I'm going, I'm going to mark it on the map, because if you get disoriented in combat it'll be easy. But I am actually going to walk this way. Look at this. With the detection on, we can see things. That's a blinking tail light in there to that car. You don't know how many times I've walked over and tried to pick up that tail light and loot it. We're going to walk right past a tunnel system, but we're not going to go into it. We'll come back for tunnel systems, but that tunnel system is one that we'll do. I'll document that with a still frame map with some arrows on it. Don't forget these boxes up here. Now what I do is I kind of chunk this area up into quarters. At some point I'll show you my map and you'll see all the places I've traveled. They're fighting over there. I'll probably have to get involved in that fight. I really don't want to fight right now, because fighting is a waste of my time right now, because I have detection and I want to pick up every box while I can. So I'm going to loot while I can, and then I'm going to fight when I have to. Only when I have to. You'd be surprised how close you can get to these people without them seeing you. I don't need components because I haven't actually paid any out. Oh, there's a bombardier drone girl over there from Black Tusk. I better watch her. They're shooting me. They're shooting me. Alright. Oops. I'm locked behind a chair. I guess it's time to get medieval on their buttocks. Oh, I got greenies to help. How dare I not shoot somebody when I got greenies that are motivated? Anybody else? Bueller, Bueller.
Detected. Nearby location. Guarded by hostiles.
Uh-oh. What resource have I read on? Oh, that's components. Okay. Not a big deal. Remember I said if you pick up something and it's red, you're doing it wrong. Well, components, water, and food would be the exceptions to that rule. I just love how the greenies think it's helping when they throw a grenade at your feet. Okay, so combat kind of messed things up a little bit. But there's boxes at each of these poles here in the middle of this area. Alright? And then there'll be boxes along those buildings. On the front side and the back side, there'll be boxes at both ends in all the nooks and crannies. And then we also have to pay attention to the trucks that are scattered about in most of the surface areas. Some of the trucks will have boxes on top of them. And by the way, looting at nighttime and looting during rain is ideal. You'll have the best vision possible. In fact, if you didn't stop at a control point officer and you were looting at nighttime or looting during the rain, it's almost as good as if you had detection, because the system makes everything else dark, but it makes the orange on the highlighted boxes the same color, the same intensity, so it glows more relative to everything else as you're looking at. Makes things stand out more. See what detection does for you there? Look at that. That's why you get into the cycle. And if you want to make it a combined farming and fighting cycle, then reset your city so that your control points are ready to be taken. I prefer to loot separately from fighting. I put myself in a different mindset. Looting, it's loot and scoot. It's not loot and fight. But sometimes, some of the routes that I'll show you, some of the underground tunnels, you'll have no choice but to fight because the underground chain gang is going to demand it of you. And there's some of the places where you can get the most loot. Now remember from my other video, if you didn't watch my other video, you should. We always start looting cycles at the crafting bench, and we spend all of our resources until we're empty on everything. As empty as we can possibly get, so that while we're looting, we can pick up everything and it counts. I don't ever want to hit one of these boxes. And yes, we pick up purples. We pick up purples because we're going to deconstruct them. It doesn't matter if it's purple or yellow. A deconstructed weapon still gives you things like steel and weapon alloy and all that other good stuff that we need for optimization. Your mantra should be, I break for loot boxes. Sometimes they have things up here.
Civilians in distress.
I really hate war dogs. Be able to spit out that many rounds and take tons of damage. That was a grenade box. I hate to see red loot, red anything, but that's grenades because I'm already full up. Okay, there isn't normally too much between bases. Okay. By the way, see the orange ones? The orange ones always have steel and titanium. I forget what this has. We'll pay attention the next time I pick one up. But those bags always carry the same type of resources, There's a slight amount of randomization in how much of each resource, but it doesn't vary too much. I like to go over this way and knock out this corner. There's a lot of loot around this little place. The idea is to make as few steps through the base as possible. Get as far as you can before your loot detection runs out. I'm going to go down this whole left side as I walk in, because that's where most of the loot is. And you see, if I had to capture the control point, this would take a lot longer. So that's why I chop up fighting my control points and looting my control points, usually into two halves. Now I'm going to go all the way around as if I was going to go out. And I'm going to loop back around. I guess I didn't have to jump over. There's a walkthrough right there. By the way, if you're running past a loot box, you can hold down the F key and keep running, and it will collect it, but your character will slow down. So I don't know what the default key is, but shift is the key I use for sprinting. So I just get used to the habit of having my fingers hover over the keyboard, where I can hit F and I can hit shift, and I can get my guy to sprint back quickly. Is someone invading us? Black Tusk is invading us. I wonder why they never have Black Tusk hold a control point. They'll come in and they'll shoot them, but they'll never actually hold them. Be interesting to take a Black Tusk control point once. I gotta walk back over to this tent because there's a weapon crate in here. And I didn't forget that. That's the route I normally take back, because now I'm going to do this part. Yeah, someone's in the hen house here. By the way, I don't know if you guys know remember the storyline, but the Black Tusk supplied the hyenas to help disrupt the city. And if you notice, at this stage of the game, a lot of times you'll come into encounters with Black Tusk and hyenas in close proximity. In fact, I fought hyenas. I can't tell you how many times I fought hyenas, and the aerial drone of the Black Tusk will show up, almost as if they were supporting them.
Friendly control point detected.
Okay, I'm gonna walk up on here. I'll walk in here and grab this. Grab this. Shoot that. Grab the weapon crate. By the way, I have never, and I mean never, picked up anything from these weapon crates that was worth keeping. Unless it was like back when I was level 4 or something and I didn't have a weapon that was decent. But I picked them up anyway because it's worth the resources. We'll deconstruct it and we'll use those resources. Oh, so the green ones have polycarbonate and carbon fiber. The black ones had the ceramics and whatever. Here, we'll find out. Ceramics and electronics. So those same color boxes are always going to pay the same resource. We're going to walk down this step. There'll be a box at the bottom of the step. And then I want to make sure I get around the inner part of the base. There's usually one on all 4 walls. I'm working my way to the control point, officer. Now my detection's already run out. But you notice how, remember what I said, at nighttime you can still see the boxes fairly easy? And it's nighttime and raining, so that makes the screen darker relative to the orange highlight. Alright, we're going to walk inside now. And I know that each little storage container inside the base has some kind of loot. I took the control point and I didn't take a single box, not even the ones next to the loot crate for the control point itself. I wanted to make sure, because every day, once every 24 hours, all of these. Hey, and he's conveniently located right here. See, this is that yellow bar I was telling you. It's usually when he's low on all 3 resources, they're going to force me. I can't individually select. Even if I try to, I'm still going to donate all 3. So in these scenarios, I end up wasting some resources because I'm donating more than I want to, but I don't have a choice. And part of the reason for that is the control point fell, and it was in enemy hands, so I hadn't donated in a while, and that means, you know, if you haven't donated to a control point in a while, they kind of force you to donate all 3 resources to them. After I come through here and loot for a few days, if this control point remains green, it will not force me to donate all 3 resources simultaneously. Okay, I'm pretty much done with this one. And because it's nighttime and I get disoriented, I will always put a marker on the map, make sure I'm going the right way. By the way, I highly recommend marking the mini-map anytime you're going anywhere to do anything, especially when you're in city streets with lots of buildings, because you never know when that GPS line is going to take you through some pass-through between some buildings that you never knew about before. You'd be surprised how many times I find some shortcut, like ducking in a doorway in the middle of a city and going through some alley and finding a whole bunch of loot boxes and everything else. Okay, there's a bunch of loot in here, but I'm not going to do this right now. I always save this for the end, and I'll show you why later. My greenies are kicking the crap out of somebody. I wish I could take the greenies to boot camp and teach them what they're supposed to do. Who's over here on my backside?
In my sights.
Detected. The control point in proximity.
Oh, the game's glitched. Someone's underground or something. There's a red unit there showing up. Get off my greenie. I don't think there's anything over here. I usually walk over here and then I remember, oh yeah, there's nothing over here. I think there's a box with ammo or a grenade. Yeah, it's a grenade box over here. There are a lot of enemy around here today. Alright. Actually, these guys are wasting my time, so. All those boxes are inside there. I have my own little path that I walk when I'm on the inside of that area. See the hyena? Even though they'll be fighting, it's like they're always around. Black Tusk is always around the hyenas in the open map. Stick your head up, buddy. Alright, there's a piece of gear. Wrong button. All these buttons to press. Alright, now that the fighting's over, there isn't too much. When we look at this area that we're in right now, this is where the building is. This little square right here you can barely see. There's a lot of loot here. There's very little loot in the middle here. The rest is around the perimeter. It's always around the perimeter. So like, there's 2 loot boxes here in the middle of this. Nothing by the helicopter. I don't think anything that was over here was on the outside, and I already picked it up. There's one there. If I had missed that, it wouldn't have been the end of the world. Now up here on the outside, things get a little bit more interesting because they start putting boxes on top of things, on top of trucks.
Heard all about your work.
Yeah, you heard all about my work, alright. I swear that the greenies are a terrorist faction and they're there to get in your way. But those guys were actually helpful. They were like manning up and fighting Black Tusk all on their own, and I did very little work. I changed weapons so I can see the indicator to see how much time I got left on my detection. Looks like I got about 20% of it left. Remember I said at this end of this little part they start putting things up. There's one here. There's one right there. That's my next spot I'm going to. Always look up in this game. Always look up. There, see over there, and right there. I love these orange ones. They always have steel. Always have steel. And I gotta upgrade a pestilence, so I've been calibrating
in proximity.
tactical assessment for the Outcast faction, which is required when you want to upgrade LMG. And you need steel for that. Plus there's whatever the True Sons one takes steel, and I've been burning through steel left and right, so I almost never have enough steel. Okay. By the way, whenever I do anything in this general area of the map, down here, any of these missions, any of these control points, if I'm gonna do a bounty down here, I always fast travel to the sinkhole control point, which is the one I'm kind of looting my way toward. Sinkhole has 2 special ammo boxes in it, and then over here in this truck is a 3rd special ammo box. And by the way, this special ammo boxes respawn within minutes. All you have to do is go do something else in the game. That's the key. So like if a patrol came by and I were to fight them and I were to walk away from this, that box would respawn. Always look up. See there, there's all my water and everything back. I go down the side. Lots of nice juicy boxes here. And this is the part, remember I said I didn't want to start looting it when I was on the other side of that shipping crate. I was like, no, I don't want to come in here and loot. I want to do it a certain way. partly why I want to do it a certain way is it's easier to see these on top, and it's easier to walk around this way and grab them all without forgetting them. And I stay inside this area, so all that fighting that's going on outside right now, I don't care about it, because they're not going to see me, and I don't have to get bogged down, and I can keep looting. Now my detections wore off, but I know where all the control boxes are because I've done this so many times. So I kind of walk along that edge, and I grabbed all those boxes. I went up, and I zigzag my way on this side. I zigzag my way to get the ones in the middle. The detection would help a lot, but because I got tied up fighting, I've lost some of my detection time, and I'm not quite to the next control point yet, so I'm doing this from memory. Oh, sometimes that happens. I actually picked up the box, but it didn't make the sound, and it didn't open up the box or flash it in the game. That happens to me. I think I got this one already, didn't I? Yeah, I got it. Okay. Alright, that's not reset itself yet. Why didn't it reset itself? Because I didn't go fight anything. If I had gone and fought a patrol or something like that, that would have reset itself. There's 2 up here in this truck. We're coming up on sinkhole. Now, I don't zigzag back and forth here. I hit this side because there's so many loot boxes in such a short area here. I forget if there's anything. There's nothing up on the truck, but it's back over here. And here's one, and here's one. I'm going to walk around here, and there's one, and then I'm going to turn back. I'm going to get that one. And then there's 2 out in the middle. I walk past them all the time. Here.
Friendly control point nearby.
And here. And then there's this one. And then there's this one. And I don't think there's too much by this side. Oh, by the way, these bags, these little kids' backpacks, these are random. Let's see what this one pays me. 1 painkiller. So you'll get trinkets out of those bags, but you'll also get other stuff. Sometimes it'll drop a regular resource, like one of the ones I just picked up out of that green toolbox. But sometimes you'll get a trinket. Sometimes you'll get components. Sometimes you'll get water. Sometimes you'll get food. It's a random bag. Okay, I wish I had detection to show you all these, but look inside of shipping crates when you walk by them. They hide things. See, like this one here? It's easy to walk by at a distance, walk right past that and not notice it. This is about the time I would get this far before my detection wears off normally if I didn't have to fight anything. But they were spawning lots of random encounters on the way. Along this fence on the outside, there's really nothing except for armor or grenade crates, things like that. There's one just inside here. There's one here, and then we got to climb up here to get this one. Come on, get down. Get out of the barbed wire. We're inside a city sinkhole. There are some loot crates over here. I'm not going to get them yet. I'll show you why in a second. It has to do with the route that I take. I'm going to come over here. I like to put this on my rapid fire weapon. When I pick up special ammo, I like to play a sniper rifle and a light machine gun. Those are my 2 primary weapons. The pistol, if I'm firing my pistol, I fucked up. Or someone just engaged on me at the precise time I was trying to reload. So on my slow fire weapons, my pistol and my marksman, I prefer to put incendiary rounds or the rounds that give you the shock. Alright, this takes us downstairs. And we will actually be able to come up through sinkhole. So there's a bunch of loot crates down here. I needed a little bit of ammo, so we'll top off. We're gonna run over here. Okay, we got those loot crates. There's an underground parking garage over here. There are a few boxes in here. There's a special ammo crate in here as well. That's our way out. We don't need that. So we're gonna go this way. This is not the special ammo crate I was talking about that's associated with Sinkhole. This is, in my mind, separate. This is the underground parking garage. But there's one here. There's a box over by this car. And then this is our way out. Now, you're just going to have to trust me. There's a whole level here, and you can spend your time walking around to prove it to yourself, but there's only one box over here worth picking up. And that's right here. And then this is our way out. We're going to grab our way up. We're going to go up a level. And this is right below Sinkhole when you take it. Oh, we're going this way. I alluded to this in the first video. We always pick up these crates, because when we pick up these crates, we get, see that? There is a chip. And whether I need this chip or not, I have better values than this. This is something I can deconstruct, and this is how I will get printer filament. So we always loot everything. We always pick up everything. There's nothing else over here. Look at that. In the course of looting, I have special ammo on all 3 weapons. And I'm about to find more of it. And we're going to walk around this way, and eventually we'll be able to climb up and out. There's one over here in the corner if I'm not... Nope, it's the other corner. Right here in this corner. This is our way out. And this brings us up back into the Sinkhole control point. Remember those boxes that I said I was going to skip? This puts me right at those boxes. I have gone through this map so many times, and this is just the fastest way. So I'm kind of on autopilot. And that conveniently brings me very close to my control point officer and the supply room. Don't forget to, anytime you're looting, always, 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 always loot the supply room of the control point. Most of the other routes that I show you have to do with underground tunnels, but we start each route at the closest control point, and it should go without saying that we are always looting the control point, in and around the control point. This is probably the only area of the map where I'm going to loot on video. I'm forced to... Look at this guy. This is a great example here, because I get to show you 2 things. 1, they will force you to donate all, because it's yellow up here. 2, I don't have to actually donate anything, because he's already above 50 in all 3. So I'm not going to give him anything. And you see the orange icon. I can't point it to you on the mouse because it directs my character, but if you look down there at the 3 icons, the blue, the green, and the orange one is the detection one. So just for looking at his resources and not paying him anything, I got credit for donating to him, because all 3 of his resources were above 50. I used to make the mistake of bumping these guys up. I want this type of special ammo on my pistol, so I'm changing the special ammo. Okay, so I don't get disoriented. I'm going to go select the next control point, which is this way. And when I walk outside the door, there's some boxes right here behind the door. This is, the game does this to you all the time. The devs love to hide things that you'll walk right past because you're in a hurry to get somewhere. You'll walk right past it. Those are the elevators I went down, so I don't need to go over there. But these boxes in here, they like to put things, it's called in the lee. If you are a seafaring person, you have windward and lee. Windward is the front of the ship where the wind hits you in the face. And lee is the back of the ship where you always have a wake behind the ship. And you can see the wake in the water, but you don't see the wake in the air. And in the air, I'm getting shot at. Or no, someone else getting shot at. And they're near a very lucrative loot spot. I don't want to forget to get these boxes. See, this game is like one distraction on top of another distraction. And right now my mission, I like to stay on mission. I'm an ex-military guy. I was in the Marines for 4 years. You have a mission, a primary mission, and that's how you're measured. Did you accomplish your mission? And you'll sometimes have an alternate mission that you're okay to take advantage of a situation and complete an alternate mission. Hit him in the red joints and he falls down. You can hit him for free and then try to hit him in the red joints again. I'm gonna let them take care of the other guys. Hey, titanium. Alright. I'm gonna go along this fence really quick. I prefer to loot this area at nighttime. Nighttime in the game, not nighttime in real life. It's easier to see all these boxes along the fence. There's a whole bunch of things to break up your sight line. I think I got all these. Yeah, I got that already. Okay. Now, I don't like doing this, but I'm actually going to retrace my steps right back the same way I came. I don't want to go inside the fence. The fence area is very, very chaotic over here in terms of sight lines and everything else. And right now, I want to come in here. By the way, this is one of the areas that the snitch, the guy that hands you bounties, I will find him in here about 25% of the time. This is where I'll find him. Actually, I can't go up. I have to go up and over, but I got to do it from here. We go up, we walk around, we go over, we drop down. At nighttime, you could see the glow of this from outside where we were just fighting that war dog. During the daytime, the glow doesn't go as far. And there's one right here. Then we're going to go up here. Whoops. Down on this side, there's one. And we got to go back up here. And we're going to walk across this truck. Right down the front. Yeah, there was a lot of loot boxes in there. And I'll bet you everybody walks by that without ever going in there. I don't think there's anything over here, but there is one over here. And let's see. There's one there. There's a weapon crate there.
Civilians in danger.
That's a named one. I'm sure it's crappy rolls, though. Oh, they got a hostage situation. Remember, trucks. Always look up. Always look up. Over here. Hop this barricade. In here are two. Hop that barricade. Walk over. Walk in here. There's some above us. They shooting at me. They shooting at me. Why are they shooting at me? I'm a nice guy. I'm trying to help people. They shouldn't be shooting at me. You see how concerned I am about them shooting at me. Now they're launching grenades at me. How rude. You want to walk all the way around this little, I don't know if it was a concession stand that's boarded up or something like that, but there's loot crates all the way around this.
Friendly combatants nearby.
By the way, did you notice that the guys that are shooting me stopped shooting me when I walked away? Random encounters that spawn on the map. I'm not talking about territory controls and things like that. I'm talking about truly random encounters where they just randomly put like a chunga out in the middle for your greenies. If you walk far enough away, the encounter will actually despawn and go away. So I use that all the time to just keep marching through and looting. Remember I said I would prefer to do this at nighttime? There's a whole bunch of vegetation. There's a whole bunch of obstacles. But basically, you want to go down into each of these pits.
Like putting down an animal.
Put down an animal, huh? Looks like I'm going to have to fight these guys. My detection's not counting for much because it's right in the middle of the frickin' day. And they are by where a lot of loot is. So, I don't want to fight them from here. I want a better advantage.
Friendly combatants detected.
Oh, there's a loot box that I was going to miss. Really? You're going to walk all the way up on me like that? Oh my god, am I in the bad spot? Well, this is me running. They have a whole squad there. They have a warhound, a mini tank, and a whole bunch of other people. I just ran away without them firing a shot. Look, remember what I said about encounters despawning? They're gone. They're gone. All I had to do was evade, and they're gone. They despawned them. My mission right now is looting. That's what I want to do. I am walking all the way back over some ground I covered because I got to get in these pits in the middle.
Friendly control point nearby.
So there's the fence. I'm going to turn here. There's a box down here. And the hyenas have respawned. Well, I got some green support, so I always feel obligated to help the greenies. I don't know why, because they're like terrorists, but... Oh, I got a named enemy. By the way, killing a named enemy like this guy, this is how you get shade calibration. I'm running Negotiator's Dilemma, so this is me marking some targets. Once they're all marked, I can just shoot this guy and those other two guys will die. I'm running a Stoner LMG that has 235 rounds magazine capacity. And it has, what the hell is it called? It has steady-handed. Hits grant a stack of 1% accuracy and stability at 100 stacks, consumes them to refill the magazine. When they refill the magazine, they're refilling it with free ammo. So notice my weapon right now, I'm at 210. Look at the middle of the screen. I'm at 210 ammo. And you saw me shooting and shooting and shooting that chunga. My weapon got reloaded in the middle of that fight. And I was able to just continuously lay down suppressive fire. So I know that's not what the video's about, but PS5 was like, you should go over some of your builds, some of the things you do, and this one is a pretty wicked build. I have Coyote in it too. So it's Coyote. Negotiator's Dilemma is all about crit hits. You mark a target. The way I have it, I can mark up to 3 targets, and the critical hits of the target I'm shooting get applied to the other 2 marked targets. And I'm using the backpack from that set, and the backpack, the normal is you get 60% of the critical hit damage to the other 2 marked targets, but because I have the backpack, I get 100%. If I were to use the chest piece, instead of marking 3 targets, I would be able to mark 5 targets. I don't want to use the chest piece. I'm kind of I've already got all these. I'm so used to having Unbreakable in my builds. You'll notice I tank a lot of damage, and then Unbreakable kicks in. There's one box down here. There's a tunnel in here to go through. Hey, look, Mom, there's a special loot crate. And there's a box right here. Actually, my machine gun doesn't have any special ammo, so I will pick that up. I just fired off some rounds. Alright, and then when you're doing these surface areas with the construction sites, this is I'm on what I call a beaten path, where the dirt's all packed down, and then there'll be boxes in the middle around the holes. They will hide crates at each of those, and they'll also put them in buckets. So whenever there's heavy equipment, they'll put it between the tracks of the heavy equipment, or they'll put it in the bucket of the heavy equipment. And then they like to put them up here on the tops of these little hills. See how the detection, now this is daytime, broad daylight, right? I would not have seen that box that was on the top of that hill that I just picked up if it weren't for the detection.
Friendly combatants nearby.
My detection just ran out. I already got this. I walked up when we were looting that. I walked up here. By the way, whenever you see a parachute in the trees, look up, make sure there's not a box. That one doesn't have a box. I know, I've looked for it forever. The orange parachutes almost always have a box. Look, Ma, another random encounter. We'll see if we can avoid them, if they'll despawn. If they start shooting at me, I'll shoot back. I think there's one in the bucket here. Oh, look, special ammo. Where do I need it? That's the same special ammo I just picked up in the other thing, so there's no point in me picking that up. I got that box. Whenever they put a tarp on something in this game, they put a tarp on there. They let you know you can go up. Go up and take a look around. You never know what you'll see. Just get in the habit of, as you're walking through a city, walking through loot areas, you see a tarp, and you have the time, and you're just scouting around, go up and check it out. Remember I said these kind of backpacks are random? Let's see what we get here. 3 food. Remember I said they could pay like anything, right? Could be food, could be water, could be a trinket, could be other resources. I'm going down this side. I'm going to take a little excursion in here. I don't think I burnt whatever's in there, but I'll go to pick it up anyway. There's like 3 or 4 boxes in here. This is part of the game I hate. That little 6-inch board right there. We got to hop over that. We can't step over that like a regular person would. We actually have to press the button to hop over it. I got 5 polycarbonate out of that kid's backpack. I know there's another box in here. There it is. Alright, that brings us to the street. There is not much in the street here. I'm right before Metro Ruins. That's the entrance to Metro Ruins, which I set my GPS line to. But there isn't a whole lot above the street here. I mean, there are boxes in here, don't get me wrong, but there's so few of them that it's almost waste of your time to even walk through this little area right here. Like here, there's 2 along this barbed wire fence.
Civilians in distress.
Somebody is shooting me. That felt like a shotgun. Notice I turned around and left him, and they despawned it. The guy that just shot me in the back is gone. He's despawned. Okay. So we're already over at Metro Ruins. Oh, I want to get downstairs. These guys are going to force the issue. You know what? No, I can make it. They're fighting each other. This is my control point. If this weren't my control point, they would follow you. But it's my control point, so they're going to just despawn and not follow me. Right below that escalator and this escalator are loot. And also in the subway car. See how it's dark? And when it's dark, these bags glow so nice. So looting outside during broad daylight. By the way, this is one of the hidden hotels, if you didn't know. It's just a little Easter egg thing. That button right there. I've already pressed it. I think this is the sign. Hidden Hotel. The Rockin' Pete. And we can walk between these cars, and we can come over here, and we can grab these loot crates. And that's all there is on this end. Sometimes these pay water, sometimes they pay food. This control point fell. Oh my god, it fell. Alright, well I'm going to stop the video here then, because I would have gone and paid my control point officer after I looted his supply room. I would have paid him, and then I would have gone on and done some tunnels or something like that. But I'm not going to show you fighting a control point. You guys have seen fighting control points before. The only loot in this place I just got, it's underneath this escalator and this escalator. Then I would walk up. The supply room is that door right there. I would go in the supply room, loot all that, pay the control point officer, and I would walk down, not this escalator toward us, but on the back side. There, you walk down that way, there's another one of those Licks soda machines. You loot it, and there's a tunnel beyond it. You walk down the tunnel, there's one box in the tunnel, then you turn to the left, and there's 2 ropes you can go up, and it'll bring you to the middle of the yard outside on the other side of the control point. But that's the end of this whole looting cycle. I picked up damn near every box on the way. If I missed any boxes, it was like maybe 1 or 2, but you saw how much loot it is. And I was empty for the most part when I came through here. So let's look at my resources now. Remember, I was red. In fact, before I sign off, let's do this. Let's go back to DC. In my first video, I showed you how empty my loot was, and I wasn't able to craft anything. So now I'm going to go back to that table. And some time has passed between the 2 videos, but not a lot. Remember, I couldn't craft this before, but I can now. Of course, that's ridiculous, but I certainly picked up a lot of electronics. It's because I fought Black Tusk along the way. So I can craft things again. And I haven't even deconstructed anything. So I tell you what, I'm going to sign off so these video links aren't too long, and I'm going to start another video so I can talk longer about this topic. Alright, I'm going to end this video, and I'll see you in the next one.